Welcome everyone back to week 2 of the Rekt League. This is season number 4. You're watching series number 3, Gromp versus Bramble. I am Ratty Z and I am joined by my co-caster Darth Tets / Tom Brady. Tell me how you're feeling after that previous series.
I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. That was a really, really tough fight, and props out to Mountain. They brought it, and honestly, both games were super close in the early game, so they just, good games to them.
Absolutely. And so now we're looking ahead into Gromp versus Bramble. They got the Gromp, who had a little bit of difficulty in week number 1. They're looking to prove themselves, and we have Bramble that might be a little bit too full of themselves in week number 2. What do you think we're going to see here in this game tonight?
I think we're definitely going to see some tank players in the top lane, some aggressive junglers, some safe mid laners, and bot lane's going to be a fiesta.
If there's anything I like to hear is that we get a little bit of a fiesta. There's going to be a lot of people doing a lot of crazy things in this game, and I'm very excited to see what's going on. So to introduce you all to what we have, if you're not familiar, we have our caster from the first game, Enraged over in the top side for Red Brambleback. We got Gray's Gambit in the jungle. Got Pickle Popper in the middle. Perhaps this will be the year of the pickle. Arrow Fox on the bot side, and Colonel Paco, that triple kill machine from last week, bringing up the support. Looks like our Red Brambleback. We got a lot of talent on that team, a lot of veterans to the Rekt League. What are you expecting out of this team for today?
So, out of Brambleback, I honestly think their star player is going to be Pickle Popper and Gray's Gambit. Their synergy in the last week's games were super, super good. So I want to see a lot of communication between them, a lot of vision around that mid lane to stop Gromp's jungler from being able to gank him, because we know Pickle Popper can just take over the game.
Oh, absolutely. And he has done so before. So then other than that, we do have to look forward to Gromp as well. They are not quite the known players that we've had in the other parts of the game, so they brought in a lot of new talent. But on Gromp, on the top side, we got Knife 261. We got Chimichangas in the jungle. We got Horizon in the mid lane. Vortex 1287 in the bot. We got Dynamic Killer as support. So we know that they had some difficulty last week in their games, but what do you think we're going to need to see for them today, and how do they attack Red Brambleback? That's really going to give them the advantage.
So I think the Chimmy is really going to have to show up. I mean, we see the powerhouse of this team is in the jungle and the mid lane, which is pretty much the same for Red Brambleback. So Chimmy's going to have to pull out some crazy pathing during his early game to try to get Horizon ahead. I mean, his bot lane, Vortex and Dynamic Killer, they're not the best, and we know Colonel Paco is just a super aggressive laner. So it could be possible, too, that if Vortex and Dynamic play a little bit safer, let Arrow and Colonel Paco push into them, then they can bait Colonel Paco going into something a little too aggressive, and then Jimmy can show up and get some easy kills.
I gotcha. So then in which way for Red Brambleback and Gromp, what do you think the warning signs are? What do they have to avoid in order to start with the losses? Let's start with Red Brambleback. What do they have to avoid from Gromp in order to get themselves the victory today?
So, Red Brambleback, I really don't want to see Paco dying at level. He's been known to do that. He really needs to avoid it. We also need to see Enraged Ovary get onto a tank so he can hold his own against Knife. And we saw Knife is also a tank player, so that matchup should go pretty much evenly in CS. And we also want Gray's Gambit to try to do some very early aggressive invading on the bot side jungle.
All right, and I guess with that, we will see what they're going to do this time. So we're going to send it to the Champion Select for Game 1 of Series number 3. This is Gromp versus Red Brambleback. And right away, we're going to see some bans in the Zillion being taken away from Pickle Popper. I think that is an incredibly smart choice. Tell me what you think about that.
I mean, Zillion's just such a good champion right now. A lot of wave clear, and it just means you're super safe because you'd have an automatic GA from his ultimate.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen in the past, Pickle Popper is able to play this champion to, I would almost say, perfection. It is kind of gross how good he is at this champion, in the Rekt League specifically. So we're going to have to see if he's able to keep that up. with what they give him this time around. But we see the Sejuani being taken away from Gray's Gambit and the Yasuo being banned.
Yeah, so I think the Sejuani is actually a ban against Enraged Ovary. It's one of the champions he's been known for in the jungle, and he also, Sejuani got a lot of recent buffs in the 9.2 patches.
Well, that makes sense.
Damage, so.
But we got Enraged Ovary in the top.
Yeah. And we also do have the classic Chimichangas Udyr ban.
Oh, you got
Respect going across.
Chimichangas, respect out to you. Your Udyr is quite scary. If they let it through, you know you're going to be playing from an uphill battle the entire time. Ooh, what's the interesting choice with the first pick Ashe going in for Vortex?
I will say that the last time Gromp first picked Ashe, he went to the mid lane.
Oh.
But they have a different mid laner now, so probably not going to happen.
Okay, I was just saying maybe we're throwing it back to Season 1, you know, doing some Season 1 Ashe in the mid lane sort of thing. Maybe Misfortune could be picked versus that. You know, we'll throw back to the old days.
But we do see Ezreal Poppy getting picked up for the bot lane of Aerofox and Colonel Paco. Just very safe champs that they're pretty much have played, I think, every game so far of the Rekt League.
Well, the hard part about that is you've seen what happens with Colonel Paco and Poppy. He's able to play that champion very well. He's able to make the plays happen. He sees the wall, he slams the wall, and it's good to go.
Yeah, and you do know he is going in, no matter what.
Absolutely. But in this case, you see Sion being picked up for Enraged Ovary. In the top side, you know that he is a big, dumb top laner that does big, dumb damage and is useful throughout the game. Love to see it. It's looking pretty good so far. Comfort picks all around for Red Brambleback.
I'm also interested if this Galio pick is going to be going into the top lane or support, because we don't know if Shen's going top lane or support either.
That is very true, and Shen does very well in the support role. Oftentimes I find that Shen's in the support role are really kind of disgusting.
Actually, I think it's a Galio support. Dynamic Kill has been playing a lot of it recently, and it feels like that'd be pretty good into Poppy. She charges in, you get up the taunt, and then Ashe can just trade damage back on her.
Absolutely. And we got Ziggy's in the chat saying these scene transitions are thick as fuck. So I'm going to say Enraged Ovary, good job. Give him some credit. Love in the chat if you like these visuals that you see are all designed by him. So he's going to try to prove us that he's not only a great top laner, but also a great designer, which is what you're seeing in front of you. So other than that, we got some extra bands coming out. Silas and Xin Zhao going away from Gromp. And we have Nocturne and Cassidon taken away from Red Brambleback. What do you think this is going to affect, and what do you think we're going to see?
So I like the fact that Brambleback is giving Pickle Popper the last pick. That's a lot of picks in that sentence. But they're giving the counter onto Horizon. So they're going to force out a mid lane champion right here.
If one of them hasn't already been picked, and Galio, I guess. Oh,
yeah, there it is. The Zero did just get buffed on 9.4. It's 3% additional attack speed per level as opposed to the 1.5 it was before. So a little bit more damage, and we do know Azir, if it gets to the late game, it's just going to absolutely steamroll.
And that's the thing. I'm interested to see. I want to see what Horizon can bring out, because Azir can do so much for us in these games.
And Pickle Popper doesn't know. Sorry, he just didn't know what he was going to pick.
The Orianna go. He does not know. That's some panic that we saw right now from the Orianna in the mid lane going for Pickle Popper. The Olaf going to the jungle. The Sion going to the top side. Ezreal going to the bottom marksman position. So you called it. You absolutely did. Tell me a little more about this Ashe Galio bot lane you're expecting.
So if you think about it, Ashe Galio, they have a lot of poke with the Winds of War and the Ashe W. And they can easily stay up in CS just because they do have that range advantage. And if Poppy goes aggressive, they have so much CC to actually stop her from getting kills. That said, though, Colonel Paco is still going to go in.
That's absolutely true. Additionally, Colonel Paco has his W ability. I cannot remember the name of it. But so if Galio is trying to go in for the Justice Punch, he can get stopped by that wall.
Yeah, definitely. But we also have so much gank set up from that Ashe arrow once she hits 6. And Paco is going to be pretty much the key target just because he's going to be standing right in front of the Ezreal.
I'm excited for that. I want to see what Colonel Paco is going to do under fire. Bringing his Ignite. Galio bringing the Ignite as well. They're looking for some explosiveness. Shen into Sion, I'll tell you this much. I feel bad for the Shen player right now. Sion is one of those champions that can do so much. Shen can do things like if he is able to get ahead in CS and get a little bit of an item advantage, he is able to wait for Sion to start winding up the decimating smash and dash through him, which can really cause a Sion player a significant amount of headaches. But ultimately, if the Shen is not aggressive and does not know the damage potential of his character, Sion is going to just run rampant all over that lane.
Yeah, but the cool thing is, Chimichangas has so much gank setup in the top and bot lane. There's a lot of CC in both of those lanes. And the Sion's most likely going to be pushing into the Shen. So if Chimmy passed correctly, he's going to easily catch out and Rage Overy. But if Olaf does show up to the party, then Sion Olaf definitely wins that 2v2.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what goes down for that. Olaf is a great pick, especially into so much of the Jax, the Azir, the Shen, all these stuns, all these taunts. Olaf doesn't care. Olaf is the honey badger of our game. It's going to run on through these fools and start throwing axes. Definitely. So with that in mind, the Ezreal matchup, how do you think this works in the thing? You think they're just going to end up being safe, trying to prevent getting CC'd up by Ashe Galio?
So yeah, Ezreal's job in this lane is pretty much just poke out with Q, try to get as much CS as you can. Ashe Galio should have the push onto the Ezreal Poppy. So I don't think there's going to be much Ezreal can do unless Poppy is there to set up a kill.
Gotcha. I'm going to be very excited to see what that goes down in that one. And ultimately then, bringing it to the mid lane, we have the Azir, we have the Orianna. We've seen the pick-a-popper Orianna before. We know that it has a high skill ceiling. He's pretty good with it. He's able to get those abilities off. He just has to make sure he doesn't accidentally ultimate himself, as we've seen a couple times in the past, as Orianna players do that from time to time.
Yeah, I've seen Pickle-Pop's Orianna fail, and I've seen it do some really flashy stuff. So,
so we got the Azir. We got the Birdman himself. He flies in any weather, and he's going to start bringing some Shurima shuffling, being the Emperor from Shurima in the past. Gonna bring his sand soldiers in to poke it out. How do you feel that Pickle Popper is gonna deal with Horizon's Azir?
I honestly think Pickle Popper is gonna try to just survive laning phase. I don't think Orianna is too good of a pick into Azir just because the ranges seem very similar. I don't know. I'm a little scared for Pickle Popper right now, but you do have that Orianna engage whenever you group up for team fight, and you have 4 other champions that can go in and be the ball carrier for you. I mean, you probably don't want Ezreal to do it, but he can.
That is very true. He definitely can make it happen.
Yeah, but both teams have such a huge wombo for a team fight, which is going to be super interesting to see. I'm a little worried late game when this Jax decides to just go to a split push lane, if he's going to be able to pull enough pressure away from a later on Baron.
You're right. That will be really interesting. I think the hard part about this is that when you put Sion in the top lane, it's one of those things where, like, if you don't win the lane or if you're going even, you kind of you feel like it's your duty to protect the top lane from what's going on with other laners. But Sion is such a great team fighting champion that I really hope Brambleback bring him in and put someone else in the other lanes to do a little bit of split pushing. Like, I'd rather see Olaf almost in the side lanes than Sion.
Yeah, we do see Olaf actually brought the Ghost instead of Flash, which can be good, but if Azir has a good wall, then Olaf's not going to be able to do anything against the enemy team.
Oh, absolutely. And that's I don't remember if Olaf has his ultimate running, does he still get pushed back?
I don't think he actually gets knocked back if the ult's on, but if the wall is up before he goes there, then he can't run through it.
I see. Okay.
I think that's how it works.
That'll be a very interesting battle for us to see today.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to see that.
Yeah, exactly. So with my normals, we have the 3 skins on the side of Gromp. We got the 5 skins on the side of Brambleback. Always looking good. What's your favorite skin going into this game?
I got to give it to Godstaff Jax. That skin just looks so clean. And I mean, if Jax had a real weapon, he'd be more than just a god.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. But one of my favorites, I'm going to have to say, well, that's one of my favorites, and I do use that with Jax. Darkstar Orianna is one of my favorite ones. Throwing that The ball has all sorts of colors all over the place. Just watch the ultimate as like purple and blue swirl everywhere, bringing the doom to the enemy team.
Yeah, the splash art on it also just looks so clean. She looks freaking scary. I would not want to meet her in Dark Alley.
No, thank you. So here we go. This is game number 1 of Bramble versus Gromp.
Do you think we're going to see any juicy invades?
Oh, I hope so. I hope so at this point. Just going to see what... I'm imagining that Bramble is going to try something. They generally do. Right? They try to do a thing. They've gotten a couple kills in the previous games, you know, like walk into an area that is unexpected.
It looks like they're just going more defensive on this startup, though.
All right.
Both teams are.
I guess without the quantity of CC that you need in order to really get a catch, they're probably just going to try to do something fancy.
Yeah.
Or
I
not
do
something
want to
fancy.
see Aerofox actually stepping up and trying to proc that Klepto early on, though. Because you do see Dynamic Killer right there. That's an easy 5 gold for you.
We got Overy just sitting there, dancing in the brush, doing his lumberjack thing. Looking good. Looking real good. Minions have spawned. We got Gray's Gambit still hanging out in the brush. Takes the safe way. Does not give any information to the enemy team. Scion still sitting in the brush. Horizon there too. This could be a potentially unfortunate situation for Enraged Over. He could take a little bit of poke, but walks up. Sees that Knife gets some information about where Scion is. So knowing that they probably spread out, knowing that blue side is probably the place for the Olaf.
And I love this ward by Enraged Over. I mean, they place the ward in the pixel bush on both sides of the river, but that at 1 minute and 20 seconds basically just tells your jungler where the other jungler starts. It lets you know which Scuttle Crab is going for, and that information is crucial.
Pickle Popper and Horizon getting some early poke off. As we see Chimichangas in the jungle looking to grab that Gromp, or grab the Scuttle Crab pretty early on in the game.
Yeah, but once again, the Jax got seen on that ward, so Gray's Gambit is just going to run straight into the red buff, but he's also spotted on it.
We have a little bit of Scion versus Shen action. Scion does not really want to take this early in the game. Shen does a lot of damage at even at level 1.
Chimmy's running over to his red buff. Dynamic Killer is also rotating down. Gray's Gambit has Smite up, but he only has Ghost, so he can't actually go in. He's going to run straight into Dynamic right here.
Gets tagged by the Winds of War. Vortex is not there. Colonel Paco is available, looking for the wall slam. Gets it. Oh, the damage out going into Vortex. First blood going over to Gray's Gambit with assist from Colonel Paco. That was a really well played invade.
That was a super greedy from Vortex right there. Like, you have vision, you have that river in the ward in the river bush. You should know that Paco is going to be right there, and he still walks into it.
This point, Horizon's looking to back up Chimichangas to make sure they get this Scuttle Crab. But Colonel Paco once again doing it. Chimichangas using his Counter-Strike already. Horizon finding himself in a tough position. Goes to his minion, but did not mean to do that direction. Damage coming out. Gray's Gambit looking to do it in. Dodges. Horizon falling very low. Pickle Popper goes down to Horizon.
The turnaround. The heal bait. Pickle Popper has barrier up and didn't expect the damage to come out.
What a beast. Well done. Colonel Paco going in for the wall slam. Gray's Gambit here for the backup, but the Counter-Strike dissuades them from continuing that fight. This is shenanigans starting already in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you won a Fiesta. Dynamic Killer has been roaming so much, he's still only level 1.
Just got level 2 with that Galio. That's pretty good. All right, Gromp, let's see what you got here. You guys are absolutely delivering on this Fiesta. We got the Shen sitting near the turret, Enraged Overy and Knife doing a little bit of battling back and forth. Colonel Paco making his presence felt all over the map, though, so far.
And I mean, I think they honestly got what they wanted out of that. Horizon got a kill, is able to get the double door and the potions. So he's going to be super safe in this lane and putting on a world of hurt onto Pickle Popper. That CSD is going to grow so far for this Azir.
And that's the thing. It's only gonna get worse, Pickle Popper. He's gonna start poking you into oblivion, as you see right there. pushing him back. And the Scion is all the way pushed up too, and that is not a comfortable position to be in. Knife keeping the minion wave in a pretty good spot, although unfortunately it was just broke on the tower. And Scion trying to push it in. But Colonel Paco going into the bot lane. We see hit versus that Dynamic Killer, misses the Justice Punch, has to flash away. Vortex and Dynamic Killer not feeling too hot versus Aerofox and Paco right now.
Yeah, and it's all that roaming gave the level advantage over to Colonel Paco and Aerofox. So Dynamic Killer just doesn't have the health to actually go into any of these
Colonel
fights.
Paco looking for the wall slam onto Vortex. And we have the gank and the counter gank on the top side. Brambleback.
Kill Paco. He went in too far.
As per usual, Colonel Paco wants to get those kills.
So Ezreal doesn't have any mana, and Colonel Paco went in for a charge onto the Galio. So Vortex could have easily just turned that fight around, but they decided to just back out instead of trying to fight. Or they could have easily won it.
Well, that's the difficult part, right? Because you're looking at Colonel Paco's like, all right, I'm just going to go in and make this happen. You know, follow me up with whatever you can. And Ezreal, with 51 mana right here, is able to do one Mystic Shot right now. And he just used it. So now he's back to nothing. And that's really not going to get you far in this world of League of Legends when you don't have any mana to actually do the fighting. So at this point, he's just there. He's level 5, although he just picked up a biscuit, I believe. So now he's able to do some work.
Chibi's coming down, though.
Chibichanga's walking in. Colonel Paco.
No, go for Paco.
Seen. They just...
They ran right past him.
Colonel Paco probably could have stayed in that brush. They would have forgot about him. But Colonel Paco just decides to walk out anyway. But we have the teleport going in from Scion on the top side. Level 6 gets the knockup onto Dynamic Killer. Cleaning house right now with Enraged Ovary, but they're going to have to get out of there. Vortex is still able to do damage. Chimichangas is there. And Shen comes to visit as well. The return kill from Scion, though, just getting there slightly earlier than Shen.
Yeah, so as soon as that teleport comes in from the Scion, I think the Shen should ult. But he was just stuck under his tower, which is really unfortunate.
Exactly. And the hard part about Shen is if you do what you just did, you leave the lane. He's still down in CS right now. Scion is having his way in the top side, which means it's going to be really tough to come back from that. You're going to have to fight a Scion who's able to bully you in lane.
But the nice thing is, Shen used his ultimate, Scion used the teleport. So Shen's going to have that teleport advantage up if another play goes on the bot lane. And they have this deep ward behind the Brambleback spot side. So they might be able to make a play if they want to.
I would love to see that happen. That would be a really, really great nod to the Fiesta that we are expecting. But yeah, right now we definitely have Colonel Paco just sitting in lane, disrespecting his lane opponents. And other than that, we got Pickle Popper and Horizon sitting in the mid. Horizon getting himself a 16 kill lead thus far in the CS. Picking it up. Raged Ovary picking up all that CS. Exactly what you want to see if you're an Raged Ovary fan, which you know we all are.
Yeah, everybody loves the Lumberjack Scion.
Exactly. We got Horizon sitting in the middle with Pickle Popper, looking to do a little bit more action. Other than that, we just got a little farm festival going on. Enraged Ovary and Knife looking to do some battling. Knife really making it happen with the Spear's Refuge, looking to block those auto attacks from Enraged Ovary. But the thing about Scion is he has a ton of ability damage just everywhere, all over his kit.
Yeah, definitely. And all this early game skirmishing has seemed to have favored Brambleback, just for the fact that Gray's Gambit has been able to get in, invade on Chimmy, and keep him down in levels. Like, he just hit level 5 while his top lane is level 7. It's kind of bad if you're a Jax and trying to heavily scale into the late game.
Exactly. He's working on it. Chimichanga's going to have to get that CS there in order to get in there. And you're going to have to get some... There's a lot of gank potential here. Horizon is someone that I'm looking at. He does have the lead. He is level 7. He can do the Shurima Shuffle into the Jax stun, and there's just death awaiting at the end of that one. So other than that, we really have Pickle Popper and Horizon just doing some more poking. Every time Horizon has the opportunity, he is throwing that damage out there. Colonel Paco looking for something right now, finding Vortex into the wall, doing his damage, getting taunted up right now, but as getting the flash out of Vortex, that was great work on Colonel Paco, setting himself up for a flash. Anything onto the Ashe on the bot lane has no flash.
Yeah, and you really want Chimmy to actually try to make a play here. Vortex is 6. Dynamic Killer is almost 6. You're going to have a lot of CC. So if he heals up off these Krugs, they should just try to go for a play.
Agreed. And as soon as Dynamic Killer hits 6, I think it's very possible that Chimichangas walks into lane, jumps in, or Ash Arrow gets hit, allowing Chimichangas to go. And let's see if we hit this Ash Arrow. Dynamic Killer
just
taking poke, though.
Overplayed their hand right there.
Agreed. They read that very well. Colonel Paco and Aerofox says, nah, not this time. I don't really feel like eating any Ash Arrows today. I had my dinner. I am full. No thank you, sir. And
you actually do see a big CS lead growing for Aerofox. Colonel Paco just allowing Ezreal to farm up really easily while pushing the Ashe back. And this poke from Aerofox is just huge. Dynamic Killer taking so many Qs to the face.
Just on point, non-stop poking going in. And even catches him on the wall. Dynamic Killer falling very low. The Ignite goes down. Colonel Paco with the kill. Onto the Galio on the bot side. We have Enraged Over and Knife Fighting on the backside as we have 3 on the bottom. We might see some towers going down, some plates getting hit.
Oh, Vortex is so dead right here. Colonel Paco's just going to run in and stun him. Never mind.
Vortex
Grace
is just
Gambit shows.
back. Yep. Other than that, it's really just looking like, again, they are taking down some plating right here. They are just saying, I want some gold in my pockets. Pickle Popper and Horizon are at a very delicious health total, though. I would imagine the jungles to be looking for the kills on this one.
Yeah, and Chimmy was actually right behind the Orianna, so you would think he's going in. He spots them. They got to go for this, right?
It's got to go in here. You got to see Flash jumps in, gets the stun onto it, doing some damage. The Shurima coming in, trying to do it up. Pickle Popper hits him over the wall, gets the Flash out of Horizon. But the damage coming from Pickle Popper, see what they can do. The Shurima Shuffle pushes them back. Pickle Popper falling very low. Gets the heal off, and Horizon grabs at Knife with a good response. That was a very interesting series of plays. I like Pickle Popper's tenacity on that one. But that does allow for the Dragon to be picked up.
It seemed like both mid laners were holding onto the summoner spells as long as they could, trying to bait the other one out to use theirs first. But it turned out Pickle Popper just didn't have any support from his team, where Horizon had everyone.
And Colonel Paco gets the wall slam going in, gets the kill onto Vortex. They just are rolling through the team of Gromp right now. Although it is 3-4, it is not by any stretch of the imagination unwinnable from any sides. And we have a little bit of battles going back and forth. Enraged Over doing a decimating smash on the top side while we see Dynamic Killer trying to catch somebody into the tower on the bot. What do you think we're seeing here from the... it looks like Brambleback is really looking to push that bottom lane advantage.
I mean, the Ashe right now is just so far behind. She's at least 25 CS behind the Ezreal. A couple platings, 4 platings gone already on that tower. And Colonel Paco is just going super hard, focusing down the correct target in these skirmishes. So, I don't know, this turret's going to fall pretty soon as Olaf can run down. Enraged Over, he used his teleport to get back into lane, so they can't try to make another 4-man play down there. But he does have the ultimate if he wants to run down. That's
true, and I think Enraged Over is just doing... he's known that he's in a good position to make Shen not able to be Shen. Right? He's able to come in, keep pushing this tower down. He took Demolish, so he's looking to just take the plating, do as much damage as possible. Exactly. Did you saw the
Lumberjack hacking the turret.
Exactly. That turret might be made of stone, but that axe is also made of some sort of greater than stone material. Chopping it down. Scion Paper Company. Make sure you invest. Take a side seat, Dunder Mifflin. So we got the full decimating smash on the top side. Again, Scion looking to just do what he can. Poke out a little bit of that Shen. Look to see if he can't push him into the turret.
And just we do see Jax coming up.
Yeah,
Enraged Over, he gets taunted.
Oh, here it comes. So he's going to have to flash ult. Nope, just flashes. All right. Turret plating just fell off the towers, which means Aerofox and Colonel Paco should be looking to pull down Gray's Gambit, which he's walking down right now. Get the quick, perhaps, if they can get a kill, this would be bonus. Otherwise, they are taking the turret. Colonel Paco going in, gets taunted up.
Nice Winds of War coming out.
Looking for the damage is coming out into Vortex. Aerofox gets the kill. Colonel Paco trying to do the extra damage, taking the tower shots.
Ignite!
Oh, Dynamic Killer gets the kill into Gray's Gambit. They're trying to take this tower down. That was a very sloppy tower dive, unfortunately, for the team of Red Brambleback, but they do trade a 1-for-1. And
Yeah,
a
the
Rage
hero's
Over falling
entrance.
very low. There's a lot going on here.
The hero's entrance allowed for the Ashe to stay alive just long enough for Gray's Gambit to take one too many tower shots. But it still does mean that the tower goes down.
First
So
turret
Aaron-
gold going over to Red Brambleback. Money in the pockets of the Ezreal is up 34 CS. That's a tough one to overcome. It's still possible. Even Ashe, if you are down in CS, if you are down, you are still able to be useful with your ultimate abilities, slows, and so on. You could be the CC AD carry.
Yeah, that's definitely the nice thing about Ashe. You just have that ultimate to carry you through the games. But while all that was happening, Chimmy just goes straight up to the Rift Herald and takes it for free. Well, I wouldn't say for free. They lost a turret.
That's true, but was not fought off at all. So having the Rift Herald is a big deal. It looks like whoa, this might be unfortunate.
That
here
was the wrong choice to use the Rift Herald.
Yes, unfortunately, Gray's Gambit is gonna get a lot of extra damage off here. They just lost it for free, unfortunately. No charge damage taken off. They thought they got it, but they did not have the information on where the enemy team was. Heartbreaking.
And I mean, you should know by playing in the league, as soon as the bot lane turret goes down, bot lane's most likely going to rotate up to your top side. So using it there was just super greedy and just misinformed, I guess.
Yeah, it really did not suit them to perform that. And unfortunately, Shen getting knocked back by Colonel Paco, bringing it back in, getting hit with the slow, seeing if they're going to go for it. There's a lot of poke, but not quite enough damage there yet. And we also have the Cyan on the bot side looking to just push as much as possible. Doing everything.
Yeah, and
right.
Vortex cannot handle this Scion. She's not going to be able to get through any of that shielding Scion does with his W.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that he can push a wave like any champion would. Going to be able to make this happen. It is just starting to crumble. We're going to have to see Gromp make some plays here. We're going to have to see Gromp come together and start taking some objectives. Or perhaps finding some people outside of their position, like Colonel Paco here in the mid lane, taking some free poke.
Yeah, but he's just rotating down to join his team at the Dragon, which is going to be another Ocean Drake for Brambleback, which is going to be huge for the Science split push.
Oh, absolutely. For the Science split push, Pickle Popper is going to be sitting pretty in lane for pretty much ever. Colonel Paco making sure Horizon cannot go back to spend that 1,700 gold in their pocket. So what are we thinking about this? Give me a little bit. What does Gromp have to do here? If you're looking at this map and you're the commander for Gromp, they're looking at what? What are they trying to fight? We got the big battle.
Right now, Jimmy has to not die. Probably
getting hit with the X's. Graves picks up the X, just misses on that one. The pentakill skin not quite enough to drop those axes and play the drums all up on Jimmy's face. Knife in a bad spot right here, though. Scion does not position his Destiny Smash correct to knock him up, but Knife again. Colonel Paco says, hello. I'm going to bring it back, but the Gallia looking to do some work. Keeper's Verdict interrupted, so they're not going to be knocking anyone down. Pickle Popper sends Dynamic Killer in the wrong direction with that Orianna ultimate, but Colonel Paco looking to go for this kill. Dynamic Killer falling low. Colonel Paco falling low and dying. Knife going very low as well. Enraged Ovary falling. Also, Chimichanga's walking into this, but they're just going to take this turret. They have 4 on the bot side. 1 fallen. It is a 4v4 or a 4v3 as we got the Ashe on the top side looking to push as much as she possibly can. That was a very interesting series of events there in the bottom.
It just seems like the communication from Gromp isn't really there. Like, Brambleback had a dive. It went pretty badly. Paco ended up going a little too far, but they still ended up getting the turret just because nobody rotated. Horizon came at the last second. Vortex, when the fight started, was in base walking top. Like, they just don't have the communication.
Chimichanga finds
really hope it
himself in
comes
the wrong
through.
spot. Agreed with you. The communication, yes. Did not get it, unfortunately.
Yeah, good channel right there, saving Chimmy.
Yeah, definitely necessary if they're going to try to do literally anything to get this done.
But if you're a Gromp fan right now, Horizon is who you put your money on. He's 2-0, got a 50 CS lead, and Azir is just such a scary late game champion.
Like you see right there, still doing a plenty of damage to Colonel Paco. and having the slows, getting the damage off, having good items, good farm. Clear at 172 farm, highest farm in the game at the moment, including almost the highest paid person in the moment. The only person with more money is the Ezreal from Arrow. Definitely well played on Horizon. This game is not nearly over.
So what Brambleback need to do is just avoid the Azir. Leave Orianna mid lane, let her wave clear against him, and then send your 4-man squad top lane to take that turret.
Horizon and Pickle Popper are looking to do the dueling. Gets the duel off on there. They double kill each other. That was fantastic. The shutdown gold going to Pickle Popper with the 0-3 Orianna gets the kill, but Sion going for the damage, and that was a good play. Horizon, very flashy work there. Almost got it. But it's great work from Pickle Popper and Horizon to fight each other off. But now it's the 4v4 without Horizon. Oh, they get the taunt off on the correct targets.
You're so far behind, you can't take this fight.
Yeah, this is definitely very difficult. Vortex does not have the damage in order to lay this out. Does have the Blade of the Rune King, which will help out against the Sion. But with the Adaptive Helm, I feel bad for the Azir. It's going to be tough to take out that big beast in the future.
Yeah, and if Ashe gets a couple more items, she's going to be able to go through the Sion, but like you said, he's just completely unkillable right now.
Which is really too bad because the Sion is only going to get bigger, only going to get beefier. And characters like Jax, if you cannot kill the front line, and if you have a character like Sion who's able to knock you up, who's able to slow you down, CC you all over the place, it's going to feel really bad. So other than that, you're right. It's going to be down to this Azir to really pump out the damage, which they can do. They have the Galio to be the front line. They do have the Shen to be the front line. So we're going to have to see here what goes down. They're going to have to start taking some turrets. It is 3 turrets to 0. Which turret would you focus on first? Your team Gromp. You got Horizon in the mid lane pushing them back. Where are you putting your forces?
I'm Team Gromp. I'm kind of just trying to not let them get this next dragon, which I think is an Infernal Drake. I would send leave Enraged over in the top lane, and then just try to get a 5-man engage on with Dynamic Killer and the Shen. Well, because if this dragon goes over, it's going to be very, very hard fought for Gromp.
It's double ocean with an Infernal. It's definitely going to be a rough one. So they're taking out their wards here, trying to get their vision in battle. They know that the Shen can't really fight the Sion at the moment, but is able to at least do the wave.
Why did they just place 3 pink wards right there? What are they doing?
What?
Right in the where the ball is.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just looking at them. Like, maybe they're baiting them into kill the wards. It's the classic ward bait, the pink ward bait. But right now, Sion coming in, gets the knockup, baiting everyone onto Dynamic Killer, gets Shen in the wrong position. That was not what you wanted to do. The ability to save does not feel good. Vortex taking a ton of damage. Pickle Popper going in for the assassinate.
Oh, the flash Q with the final kill.
Using the flash, flashing the insignia there, showing that Pickle Popper with the at least rank 6 on the Orianna. That is going to spell at least 2 towers down, maybe 3 if they keep this up. Shurima pushing them back, tags them with the Ezreal ultimate ability, True Shot Barrage. This is going downhill very quickly for Team Gromp.
But you still see the damage getting pumped out by Horizons. It brought Pickle Popper down to like 25% health in a matter of a second. So he can do it. He just needs his team to sit in front of him. He needs that Shen. He needs that Galio to soak up pressure so he can do damage.
And we'll see if that even happens at this point. Right now, we're just looking at Gromp being pulled into fights that they don't want to be in. The Sion coming from the top side really cemented that one. You got to give credit to Enraged Ovary for that great engage to force these very difficult situations. We got Horizon pick up the blue buff, very needed in order to get enough mana to spam those abilities to make sure that they can keep with the fights.
This is a problem. Vortex is going to die right here.
So is Knife, unfortunately. Ooh, does not get slammed to the wall. Gets the flash out of it. They do have a heal. The Galio is coming to the... Oh, there's still plenty of damage here. Gray's Gambit is not completely unstoppable. That did not turn out the way that I expected at all. Aerofox and Horizon dueling in the mid lane as well.
Horizon's
Okay.
just trying to bait.
Looking to see what they do here. Gambit, Paco, and Pickle Popper are rotating through the map. Horizon showing that has good grasp over the Azir mechanics, but you gotta pay attention to Enraged Ovary in the bot side. Split pushing all the way down into this turret. Gonna get his Demolish stack off, chopping that tower down. Boom! Almost half health already for that inhibitor turret.
Yeah, and Gromp ends up giving up mid lane turret as well. Vortex just sitting in the top lane trying to farm up, but you need to be with your team at this stage in the game.
That is very true, and the hard part about this is that we have Sion on the bot side, able to fight Knife, not really taking too much damage, although it looks like not able to just completely ignore it either. So playing it intelligently does not really have the vision required in order to keep pushing. Does have a single ward on there that is very helpful.
And I don't know what Knife is building. Like, you have to go super tanky so you can win the sustained battle against Sion, and he's got a recurve bow with another dagger in his kit. So I'm very confused what he's building. Maybe a Wit's End, but that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, that's not what you're looking for here on the Shen. You really need a little bit more tankiness. Colonel Paco really going for the kill. Wants to kill in Horizon, which I do not ask him. But we saw the interaction there. Horizon finding himself between a rock and a hard place. Olaf going in. The knockups from Enraged Ovary. Colonel Paco finds a slam against the wall. Killing spree for Arrow, Fox, Colonel Paco, and Gray's Gambit looking to hunt down the Jax. Gets the double kill. Dynamic Killer retreating away from this 5-man death squad looking to push it in. It's going to be Galio and Shen versus the world. This is exactly the two champions you do want at the towers, though. Getting the taunt off onto Colonel Paco, looking to take the damage. Aerofox falling very low. But they do have Pickle Popper's damage out here. Knife is falling very low as well, but we have 5 health bars retreating to the ends of the earth on the team. But they do have the 2 Infernals. They're the 1 Infernal and the 2 Ocean, so they are clearly just restoring their health back up as the rest of the tanks walk ahead and create the front line, pushing down the tower, making that inhibitor just exposed.
Yeah, and if Paco hit that stun onto Knife, he was very dead right there. Gromp needs vision. Their bot side jungle is completely dark, and they're trying to walk in and farm up their camps, but they just can't. If you walk into an unlit area solo, you're just gonna die against this team.
Yeah, agreed. We have, thank you, Randy Cakes in the chat saying Bramble looking so clean, even though Gromp could make a comeback. But agreed, Bramble is looking nice. They are pushing their leads. They are bringing people to it. I think they probably could have got the inhibitor as possible, but who knows on that one with the respawns coming back up. They did not want to pressure it, not want to chance it. But other than that, they're going to pick up a 3rd Ocean Drake.
Yeah, and we do see Arrow 4-0-3, 700 gold bounty on this Ezreal, 30 CS up. Doesn't have the double tier though, so most Ezreals go for that double tier build, which gives you so much poke damage with your WQ.
Right.
But he doesn't really need it. He's just so far ahead of the Zash. He's just gonna destroy anybody.
And that's unfortunate, really, for Gromp. It's going to be tough because while the Blade of the Rune King will get some work done, especially as they get more health, the damage will go up. Hasn't really had the opportunity to stand and just deliver those shots. Hasn't really been able to get those auto attacks off to really benefit from that.
Oh, so, Chimmy walked next to a wall.
Colonel Paco finds that, but here comes the Galio. Gets the hit. The Ash arrow misses, unfortunately. Enraged Ovary being taunted up, but they got the Justice Punch. Finds him in the wrong position. Pickle Popper on a killing spree. Down goes Galio. They expended a lot of ultimate abilities for that one. This is going to end up being probably at least a Baron bait, if nothing else.
Yeah, and once again, they're just walking solo into a dark jungle. You can't do that against this Bramble squad. Paco's going to find you, and he's going to hit you into a wall.
And that's basically that's what we're seeing right now. They're putting up their vision. They're walking over to Baron. It looks like Pickle Popper has his ball sitting there, waiting to see who's going to try to show themselves. Pretending to do the Baron bait. They're just sitting on the Scuttle Ward that currently, thankfully, that Gromp has right now. But there's a lot of damage. Horizon sitting by himself, being chased off. in the mid lane, doing a lot of damage, putting up the wall there. No one can do it. Getting themselves to safety.
Yeah, and at this point, Bramble's just looking for a fight. They can't actually do Baron now that Vortex has spawned and is shoving up the mid wave. But I really do want to see Enraged Over you just go for an ultimate now that Horizon's ult is down. You also know that the Shen ult is down as well, so he doesn't have too many defensive options. Just choo-choo in. Charge in. Get your Ezreal to come mid, and then charge.
That pretty much needs to happen right now. Just have them walk through. They're all 5 grouped up, and if a Scion hits a 5-man ult, like right here, this would be so tasty. Ezreal's still not there. They're looking for the fight, but Ezreal's just pushing up. Now they called him in. Will be slightly too low. Colonel Paco looking for the flank, but the team is respecting that and kind of moving back.
Yeah, and Horizons looks like calling to shove the mid lane, but they're not strong enough to actually do it. Although Azir is popped up, so they have the minions, they have Brambleback against this Azir turret. They're going to have to walk right through. We see the Scion ult coming through.
And here we go. It goes in.
Oh, that was so disgusting.
That is a lot of damage. The double kill going in. They ends up keep going there, chasing everybody down. Olaf double kill there. 5-man ace.
And that Scion ultimate with the Orianna ultimate on top of it just caught everybody out of position and absolutely destroyed Gromp right there.
Absolutely. Did a quick speed up to make sure it looks like something lagged. You were slightly ahead of me, but now we're good to go. We got the Baron coming down to half, almost falling down. Enraged Ovary pushing in the mid lane. We got the Baron call going in. About to be there. Enraged Ovary sitting at the tower with the Baron minions, just slapping that tower down right now. Dynamic Killer looking to make the work happen. I don't think Enraged Ovary should have to walk very far. Just keep the Baron on those minions. Just make sure that that cannon has it for sure. Get the last shot off.
Oh, it's targeted onto Dynamic, so it's not going to go down.
That's really funny. Good try, Enraged Ovary. You did work. You did work, but then you left slightly too soon. But I think it's one of those things where they're like, all right, guys, together as one, let's go. Get your buys in. Spend all your cash. Buy your pots. Buy your elixirs. Let's get our battle ready. We're going to take them out right now. Up by 10k, let's take it to him. Colonel Paco ready to charge in head first.
Yeah, and you see actually the itemization on Brambleback. There's so much magic resist being put out. They know that Horizon's the one they have to worry about. And since they're so far ahead, they don't have to worry about this Ashe at all.
Knife sitting on Chimichanga's looking to sketch up on Pickle Popper, finding himself in the wrong position, uses ultimate ability. Keeper's Verdict knocks them all back, keeping Pickle Popper alive. Colonel Paco, can you stop being on the highlight reels? My goodness.
And Paco just says, hey, get out of here. That's my friend.
Like, my God, that was a well played. That was a perfect ultimate, hitting all 3 of them, saving Pickle Popper's life. You cannot ask for more than that.
There's a really nice ultimate from Pickle Popper, too, just to group them all in one spot for Poppy to knock them all away.
Perfect.
Cool synergies coming out.
That's going to be something they're going to have to think about. No, it really comes down to, you're looking at Gromp versus Brambleback in game number 2. What is it going to end up being here? Because we have, do you take away Paco? Do you take away Pickle Popper? Take away Enraged Ovary? What's the play here, and what's the difficulties?
Honestly, you need to get...
Big ultimate for Pickle Popper, though, real quick, to interrupt you. Chimichanga's falling low. Dynamic Killer having to use Zanya's, and they just go in and get melted. They are too far behind to take this. Double kill for Paco. Horizon has to get out of there. Enraged Ovary, Flash, Roar of the Slayer gets the kill. Ace. 5 for 1. That looks like this might be the end of the game.
Yeah, that was such a clean fight coming out from Brambleback. There's not much else to say. They just got super far ahead in this game, kept out Vision. Gromp didn't have anywhere to walk in their jungle, and then Brambleback just got a bunch of picks, ended up getting a Baron, and took the game from Gromp.
They're bringing Bramble back.
What?
All I gotta say for that is great job on their part. Bringing game number 1, but don't go away. We're going to take a quick break right about this, and we're going to come see game number 2 when Gromp looking for the revenge against Brambleback. Don't go away. Welcome everyone back to the final series of the night. Gromp versus Red Brambleback. This is the Rekt League. My name is Ratty Z and I am joined by my co-caster Darth Ted, the Tom Brady of the league. How did you feel from watching that game number 1?
I felt very scared of Brambleback, honestly. They were bringing it real hard, and they really won this year.
And you really got to take a look at how they won that game. They started to win through the laning phase, and then they had a great job taking those objectives. What do you think we're going to see here in game number 2? What do you think we're going to see from Gromp to make some adjustments?
I don't know what we're going to see, but what I want to see is a Poppy ban. Honestly, that champion was just way too strong, got a lot of good engages off, and it just didn't look like Vortex and Dynamic knew when to trade with it, you know? So Paco would go in when Ezreal wasn't there, but then after the Poppy went in, like, Poppy doesn't have any more damage, and Vortex and Dynamic just walked away after it, thinking like, woo, we got away with our lives, instead of being able to trade back and getting Poppy super low.
Agreed, and that's the hard part. That's the confidence you have to have in going into some of these fights that I'm not sure that was there, but I do love to see a couple things in the chat. Number 1, figs are big. Number 2,
so
Gromp will stomp. Those are two series of phrases that I love to hear. I want to see Red Brambleback put back into their position, knowing that Gromp could take a game off them, bringing that to the 1-1 series. But other than that, let's talk about some of the good things. We just saw a little bit of difficulty from the Gromp side making it happen. We saw the Shen pick in the top side went for a little more of an aggressive build rather than necessarily the defensive build. And then the hard part is, like, if you're going to pick Shen into a sign, it doesn't always feel good. And we had that Jax jungle that had a little bit of effectiveness here and there, but wasn't really able to make it happen in too many places in the early game, considering what is possible with the Jax jungle into like the Shen top or something like that.
Yeah.
So what do you think we're going to see here from, like, we know Brambleback, they're going to want to keep on the pressure, but we got Gromp. What do you say to your team? You're in Gromp's position to make the spirits come up.
See, I don't know what they're going to do, but if I were on their team, I would say this. Shimmy, you can't go Jax. You need to be on a heavy gank jungler. Something like Ramus, something like Udyr. You need to run around the map, make sure all your laners are safe, and go even in lane. You need to get Horizon to the late game so he can steamroll team fights. That's all you got to do. You don't fall behind early. You get to 25 minutes, you group up behind Horizon, and you let him carry your asses.
That's exactly what I want to hear. And speaking of what I want to hear, there's a bunch of shenanigans going on in chat right now. We got Bramble will ramble. Bramble doesn't hold candle. Can't handle the Bramble. This is Bramble in shambles. I love it. Thank you, chat, for coming up with things that I should be coming up with. So other than that, I think we are about...
I mean, we just ramble about Bramble.
Exactly. It's the Bramble gamble going on. See what they do here. So we're going to be sending on off to the Champ Select, bringing it into game number 2. Bramble taking the first one versus Team Gromp here in series number 3, game number 2 for the week number 2. Whew, it's a lot of information, a lot of math, almost. Identification, number identification. So we got the Udyr being taken away. So much for that running around the map with the Udyr.
I mean, there are other champions that can do it just as well.
That is very true. We got the Zillion taken away from Pickle Popper.
Do you end up forcing Enraged Ovary onto something other than Scion?
They have
just to give Knife maybe an easier matchup?
I 100% agree. That is something that has to go away. I wonder who plays... Is it Horizon that plays Yasuo?
No. That was... who they play the first week. I forget. I can look it up real quick.
My goodness. That's what I'm saying. Chat, you know what's going on. Can Gromp build team comp? It's the Bramble Scramble. And we want to see Crimson Goody over here says, pick Shaco, Chimmy. Get involved. That's what I want to see. Some Shaco picks? Hell yeah.
This is Gallywix that pulled out the Shaco.
Look at this. Boom.
The Poppy.
Tell me about it.
the Poppy and the Scion ban. So now you're forcing Enraged Overy onto either the Maokai or the Sejuani, something else that he's not as comfortable on, and you're also forcing Paco onto something that doesn't have as good of an engage as the Poppy. We do see that Ezreal first pick though. Aerofox playing super safe in lane, got farmed up, was able to get a lead, and just put out so much damage in the late game.
And that's the thing. It's one of those things like if you're worried about your AD carry, you want him to be safe. Ezreal does plenty good without having to put yourself in danger.
And it looks like Dynamic Killer going back to that Galio pickup.
And the Sejuani going in for Chimichangas.
So Sejuani is super strong right now. Very good tanky jungler. Has a lot of gank potential, a lot of CC, and good team fight. But the problem is, if you don't have an AD carry, like if Vortex falls so far behind again, you're going to have nobody doing damage.
So what do you think we need to see from Vortex in order to round out that team comp?
Honestly, right here, I think we're going to see another Azir pick. If we get Azir right here, then you do have the two bans to... Ooh. Never mind.
Oh, hell yes. Silas coming out, and I'm not sure if that's going to be in the top or the mid. I guess technically they're both interchangeable.
I mean, it could be jungle as well. Knife could play Sejuani top lane if Chimmy wanted to do Silas jungle.
That would be some spiciness.
But the one thing I'm really concerned about is, once again, Gromp is building a very high AP team comp. So unless Horizon plays an AD mid laner, they're going to be really reliant on Vortex to put out damage with the Leona and the Olaf out from Brambleback.
We're going to have to see. We got some chat going on. Talking about the mobility. They want to see if Chimmy can hit the ults. People are going back and forth. They got people quoting the Dragon Ball Z. Let's see what we're going to see here. Will we see which bands come out? Find out next time on Rekt Ball Z.
And Crimson Goody coming out with a Chimmy 2 hype.
Oh, they're going in, feeling it up. This is too hype. Jimmy, let's see it. Come show us the business. So what we got is a couple more bans. The Azir taken away and the Ashe taken away. Going directly from the previous game, knowing that we got Cassiopeia and Cho'Gath being taken away.
Sivir is a very good pickup. She's really strong into Ezreal just because you can shove waves super hard. You have the spell shield to negate his ultimate. And it's also kind of good into Leona, since you can do the same thing with your spell shield into Leona's ultimate.
Sounds pretty good to me. Looks like we got the Maokai going for a Raged Ovary, going from the old school days.
Yeah, we don't actually see Maokai a lot anymore, except if Enraged Ovary gets banned out.
That's very true. We did see it a little earlier today. It didn't end up winning itself the game, but it was a very interesting pick into the matchup. We got the
so it is a
Orianna
Silas mid. Okay. That's good to know.
Kled?
Yeah, so we have a Kled versus Maokai, which Knife should have a good time in this lane. Like, Kled has so much damage. He's a lot of poke. And if Knife plays it well, he should be able to just run Enraged Ovary down with the help from Chimmy.
Especially that unless Enraged Ovary makes some armor pit stops, it's going to be a little difficult to... Maokai doesn't necessarily itemize for armor early in his kit. Right? He's often going for things like the Spectre's Call into, getting his 30% healing bonus so he can just never die in lane. He can go Roa if you're trying to get additional damage. So there's a lot of work here. I wonder what he's going to have to pick up instead. Maybe he'll go...
I think he definitely has to go the Balmy Cinder into the Sunfire Cape first item.
Burning Tree build?
The Fire Tree.
Yeah, we'll have to... Exactly. Perpetually on fire, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a very good question.
Does Silent Alt just Ori ult on himself? That's hilarious and probably true.
I mean, Silas does have a way of engaging, so he's his own ball carrier, right? Like, Orianna can use the Leona or the Maokai, but Silas just goes in himself.
I'll be very interested to see if it would be. I don't know. It's too bad that Silas can't make Oriana's ball ult her.
Oh, ult her ball.
Yeah,
so
like,
you steal
so,
the
like,
ult
she's
and whatever.
holding it. Just ult her.
I mean, true. There is only one ball, right?
I mean, I thought that would be pretty nice, but unfortunately, these are just my dreams. We'll have to see what else Silas can do. We could probably do a quick rundown of the Silas capabilities. The Silas mass root, the Silas going enraged would be pretty interesting to see. That's kind of disgusting. Oriana taking the ult, of course, the self ball. We got the true shot barrage from Silas, and we got the Leona ultimate, which is that's going to end up being pretty disgusting in the team fight as well. So there's a lot of great targets here for Silas to really show off the skills. So other than that, we got things like the Sivir Galio in the bot lane, Vortex being able to have a little more safe champion, able to kind of throw that boomerang blade, get those ricochets off from the back line, not having to necessarily step up and do any sort of work. What do you think about the Sivir pickup in this team comp?
I think it's really smart. I think you got a huge front line with Sejuani Galio. You just have to not fall behind early on. And I mean the skill matchups in the bot lane really did show. So Chimmy's got to do a lot of work to stop that bleeding this game around.
And I think putting Colonel Paco on Leona instead of his signature Poppy pick is going to do wonders for you as well. I think it's going to be significantly still as aggressive, but less as familiar with the champion.
He's still going to go in. He's just not going to have an easy time escaping this time around.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of chat going on right now thinking what that's going to go on. Based on the money, a lot of people thinking Bramble's going down. It does look pretty good, but I'm really interested to see what Gromp can pull from this. I think Silas is a really fun character to watch. I think his potential to shut down Pickle Popper, especially not allowing Pickle Popper to have the ultimate for the fight, that could be something up. Something
that's
good.
actually a really good point. Because you put it on cooldown, right?
Yeah, exactly. Unable to use the ability while it's there. So other than that, there's a lot of damage potential. But I really want to know from the chat. What are we going to see? Exclamation point Gromp in the chat? Or do you want exclamation point Bramble in the chat? Who's going to take it this game? Let's see it.
Yeah, and I really do like Gromp's team comp. But I just don't know if Vortex is going to be able to step up. Because they're putting a lot of weight on his shoulders right now. The Sivir has got to do damage in team fights. And if Vortex falls so far behind, he's just... I mean, I've said it before. It's just not going to look too pretty. And then Bramble's going to walk all over him in team fights.
It's going to be tough. There's a lot of people in chat that agree with you. They got the exclamation point Bramble in there. They got the Bramble Gamble going on this time. But yeah, it's going to be tough. There's a good... Olaf going to be up in that Sivir space. That's for sure. So
put on the other side of things.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's bring it into the game.
Gromp just has a huge team fight comp, right? You have the Kled, the Sejuani, they're just going to run in your face, get some CC down. Dynamic Skiller is going to come in with the ultimate, reduce all that damage, and Sivir should be in the backline just auto-attacking with that W on.
So we got a very interesting type of Brambleback invade going on here. Taking the long route. This is gonna just break the will of the enemy team.
Vortex, pay attention.
Oh!
Dodges the X.
That could have been a really bad time, but there you go.
You think Vortex is listening? Maybe you heard me say that?
No way.
Yeah, I know. Just a joke.
Listening 3 minutes in the... Or what? 2 minutes in the future?
Yeah. I mean, people can do it, right? They're time machines.
100% agreed. I'm actually from
Odds
the
are
future. Came back in time to cast this game.
Odds are stacked. Will Gromp be a snack for Bramble where they extinguish their candles?
We've got some rap crew going on in here in the chat. Gonna drop a new album.
The Rekt Squad, call it.
Yeah, something like that, right? We got to figure out some sort of pun with Bramble and Gromp and tunes. All right, so we got some Got some sick rhymes going on. Horizon looking to pick up some damage. Looking to kind of push Pickle Popper back, pushing himself away, trying to be flashy, but just taking a lot of poke damage from that. Or just those Orianna auto attacks. This does not feel too good. And other than that, we got Knife and Unraged Overy going to be goofing it up in the top. Vortex and Dynamic Killer in the bot lane versus Colonel Paco and Arrow Fox. Looking to go back and forth right now.
And Orianna just is super good into melee matchups because her passive gives her extra magic damage on her auto attacks. So, good pickup from the Orianna into the Sylas.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Sylas, especially in the early game to get stuff done. But the playmaking potential of Sylas is definitely there as it goes on. But Knife lands the bear, bear on a rope, bear trap on a rope. But gets dismounted and is doing a lot of damage to Enraged Overy, only going forward right now. Knife does not have any cares in the world going for this. Got a lot of that bravery coming back. About to get Enraged Overy trying to go in for the quick kill, but here comes Skarl. The fight going back and forth. Enraged Overy just saying, forget it. I'm just going to flash out of there. I don't want to deal with this.
Gray's Gambit is coming up, though.
I've seen enough garbage with them in the past, but we got the bat hanging out there. There's some damage going in. Gray's Gambit coming up from behind, gets rooted up. Enraged Overy falling very low. There is the flash. A Knife. He might flash for this kill if he's going in for it, as you see right there. Taking the tower shots, gets the first blood before dying. What a beast!
Oh, and Enraged Overy, instead of just letting his jungler kill, goes in, gets the root up. And
that is the epitome of greed.
Does not have enough healing to sustain himself.
Damn.
Jimmy right now. Don't know if you want this fight. Oh, he's just going to smite this.
We got Horizon looking to do some work here. Oh, boy. Chimmy's only level 2 right now. Yeah, this is not looking great. You just need to get out of there, Chimmy. Pickle Popper is going to do a lot of damage to you. He is level 4. You're going to have to flash this.
He does not flash.
He does not flash. You are so done. Goodbye, Chimichangas. You were a delicious snack for the mid laner, picking up 300 gold. Oh! Pickle Popper not going back, though. That's like using some mana for that and keeping Horizon there is going to be very interesting.
So something that we must have missed, I can go back and look for it, but Chimmy was on the red buff from the opposing team on Bramble's red, and it looks like the bot lane just roamed down and forced him to flash out, which is why he's so low level.
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, we're too busy watching the insane shenanigans in the top side of the jungle.
Yeah, I'm just going to rewind on that.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So we got Knife and Enraged Overy going back to it. Knife getting the bear trap on a rope. Picks up double longsword and a rejuvenation bead in order to fight this out. We also got Dynamic Killer and Vortex pushing up in the lane, putting themselves in a kind of a scary position up there. Being that far pushed up without the vision. But they do claim that for themselves. That's great. But other than that, we do have a little bit of just trading back and forth in the top side. Sylas also keeping up in farm in the middle lane. As you can see, one-man chain gang with the Lunar Wraith skin looking to show the abilities. One thing you will find with Sylas is has a lot of mobility, has a lot of timing going to have to be done here for his chains. But we have a little bit of fight going. Enraged Overy versus Knife again at the top side. Dismounts him off of Skarl. But Knife does not mind at all throwing the cannons in their little pop gun. Pocket pistol doing the damage. A lot of work going on here.
Yeah, we not also see in the mid lane. Horizon went in for a really good trade on Pickle Popper, forcing him out of this lane.
Knife falling very low. Skarl coming back and Enraged Overy finding himself in a tough position. Skarl still there, gets the double dash in, pushes him away, takes a tower shot, and falls down for it. Enraged Overy does not want any part of the end of that fight.
Ooh, in the bot lane.
We had
good game coming out from Jimmy.
Oh, Colonel Paco falling very low. Hits the Zenith Blade onto Chimichangas. Almost a great escape, but Chimichangas does not allow that to happen. Securing the kill for his team. 1 kill, 2 assists.
Mid lane. Gray's Camp is going in on Horizon.
And we got Horizon being pushed back into the tower, taking a lot of damage from the Ignite, from the burn, that is, of the red buff. Having to go back. Gray's Gambit not allowing Pickle Popper to fall behind at all. Enraged Overy once again on the top side. Knife looking to get some damage off so we can get that Skarl back.
Yeah,
a lot of action going on early in this game.
Pickle Popper had enough mana to either move the ball or throw the ultimate. And he decides to try to throw the ultimate, and it just missed Horizon, allows him to get out.
That is
Crazy.
too bad for Pickle Popper. Does not pick it up. But yeah,
Gray's Gambit with a real good invade right now. He has the support from his bot lane coming up.
Colonel Paco is here looking to take this blue buff from Chimichangas. If they do take this, Chimmy will be falling very far behind. He does pick it up. 100 gold. Chimichangas looking to slow them down, not allowing them to just leave with everyone there. Unfortunately, Galio is only level 5 and is not available to hit some ultimates. Like you said, great work on Gray's Gambit part, taking that evade.
Yeah, it was really smart from him, knowing that the bot lane had back, the mid lane had back, so he just has priority and support from his teammates.
Absolutely right. So we got Enraged Ovary back in the top side, continuously being pushed out of lane from this Kled. He's finding himself on the wrong side of this fight, though. You don't really want to take this when you have to walk backwards, getting all of these auto attacks off from Kled. He is just taking it to him right now. But Chimichangas is here to help out versus Enraged Ovary. Enraged Ovary does have his flash, but is not forced to use it. Gray's Gambit looking to do some more invading, perhaps waiting for Chimichangas here in the river. We might see some action here right by the river, so we're going to see if Pickle Popper can join him in. Chimichangas finding himself in a rough position here.
And Chimmy is just getting dragged over the map, baited into spots where he shouldn't be. He went into river, had Olaf completely out-rotated, but instead of going for the camps, going for the farm, he runs up to try to help a fight that was already winning by knife.
Yeah, that's
Gray's Gambit is 6.
Yeah, Grace is 6. Looking to... Oh, good try on Knife. Just barely missed that positioning to go over the wall with Gray's Gambit. Not sure he actually wanted to do that. But Knife finding himself in a pretty good position. Gray's Gambit looking to chase Chimmy out of that side of the jungle. Krugs are still available. It looks like no one's going to go take those. Not too bad.
Yeah, but Chimmy right now needs to just hit 6 and try to not get invaded on. But we have a gank coming up in the top lane.
We also have Enraged. Yeah, Enraged Ovary is fighting versus Knife again. Gets the double pull in there, looking to see if he can get the damage off. He does not get it this time. Enraged Ovary gets the revenge kill, but we have Silas and Pickle Popper fighting in the middle. Ultimate going out from Pickle Popper, pulling it back. Takes it back. It goes in, unfortunately, just not enough damage. Pickle Popper gets the kill onto Horizon.
Flash is the mastery after it, too. We see Horizon has to flash to use the Orianna to get it to hit.
But did not have enough damage with everything involved. Only has the Hex Tech Revolver, nothing else. So does not have the damage anticipated in order to do that, while Pickle Popper is sitting on a lost chapter. Not an incredible amount of damage, but apparently enough to get the job done.
Yeah, but while all that was happening, we again missed it in the bot side because there was so much action. But Colonel Paco ends up getting a kill with the Ignite onto the Sivir. So Vortex once again falling behind 20 CS right now.
Yeah, being at
Huge
52 to
discrepancy.
73. Unfortunately, yes. That's one of the difficulties. If you are watching bot lane players, you're gonna want to focus on that CS. You cannot fall behind regardless of the status of the lane, or else it's gonna be a hard time for you in the long run. But we have here, Knife is just pushing Enraged over out of lane, finish the Tiamat so he can get that lane moving, keep pushing into the Maokai. We have Horizon just taking poke damage from Pickle Popper, but keeping up in CS pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah, one thing we do see is the Sivir is actually going this attack speed build. Built Berserker's Greaves first, which is okay. Oh, top lane.
I know, I'm just looking at this. Chimichangas in a rage over, getting the fight on. Knife is going in. We've not seen Chimichangas. Did not have to use the ultimate. That was excellent patience on his part to keep it and hold it for the next fight. So other than that, they're going to take quite a few pieces here. But in response, we're going to see that Team Brambleback are going to take this dragon, getting the first Infernal Dragon for their team. That's going to help out in those team fights greatly.
Yeah, and the big point is the Sivir just doesn't have any damage. Like, you build straight attack speed, you've no pickaxe, you've no BF sword, you're just going to get shoved in, and you can barely clear the minions as is.
And it's going to be tough right now. They're almost anticipating having Galio perform a lot of the CSing right now for Vortex, just because it's hard to step up right that into that Leona lane. Knife is being very aggressive right here on the top side, hoping to get that Skarl to come back. Very interesting way to play Kled. It's definitely something that I've never mastered, is having that I don't really care, I will just keep fighting you mentality. As you see right here, Knife is going up. Let's see if he gets the loyalty back in time for Skarl to save his life, and it does. It's going very low. Knife is finding himself in a low position. Enraged Ovary throwing out the ultimate. Knife is going to be able to get... Oh, does not get away. Gets hit by the root falling off. Skarl going to see if he can't flash. Hits him. See if he can't use the pocket gun to get out of this. Enraged Ovary chasing him down slowly, as you can hear the music. Tries to hit him. Does not hit with the damage. Waiting for the W to come back. Loses the
meanwhile,
vision.
on the bot side.
There's a double kill. I'm like watching this shenanigans going on. This is insane.
And
Here's the Benny Hill music. Not going to make it. Pickle Popper walks in to finish it. I had to miss the double kill because I was trying to watch Enraged Ovary finish the job. Couldn't get it done. Ugh. Hashtag enraged audience in the chat, please. Enraged caster. My goodness.
In the bot lane, what basically happened was Olaf once again went in for this blue buff when it was spawning and basically just hidden the buff while their bot lane rotated down on top of them, and they just picked up an easy 3v3 fight.
Seems like it there. Both all high in health, took 3 plates for their about to be 3 plates? 2 plates for their troubles. Getting very close. Dynamic Killer looking like does have the flash and the ignite, seeing if they want to take this fight. They should really, if they want to do it, they're going to have to do it right now. They are just not pulling the trigger on any of this. I don't know. I think they had the ability to potentially turn on that fight if they would have, you know, essentially performed what we see Galio do, right? Charge up the shield of Durand and then flash in for the taunt. Getting both the Ezreal and the Olaf, and then seeing if they can fight. Chimichangas was on the way down, and then just got called away.
But once again, Vortex has no damage whatsoever. She's doing barely 100 on a crit. That's not what you want to see at 14 minutes into the game.
That is true. She is sitting at 90, or they are sitting at 98.
Oh, no.
And here's Gray's Gambit, looking to do that, getting the flash out of it, falling backwards, getting the stun going in. Unstoppable on the Olaf. The damage coming across from the True Shot barrage. They get out. All summoners blown on the bot side, I guess except for the Ignite, however. The heal and the flash blown for Brambleback, but ultimately they get out somehow. I don't understand how that would happen, but...
It's because Sivir has no damage. She can't do anything. When they're invading in your face, her auto attacks do literally nothing. And it just gives Brambleback so much pressure. They're able to take this bot lane turret.
And really, the no damage from the Sivir. Unfortunately, they were somehow unable to kill both Galio and Sivir. Here comes the dive on the top side. And Enraged Ovary finding himself at half health, sitting on the tower, using his ultimate, falling very low, but Chimichangas and Knife getting the kill on that one, pushing this tower down. It's exactly what they need to do on Team Gromp. Play through the top side is definitely taking advantage of this. Kled is someone who can get the job done, potentially assassinating a lot of players, but this mid lane is not looking too good. What do you think is going on in the minds of Team Gromp right now?
Well, Horizon just got roamed on by the Leona, who's free to do whatever she wants now. But honestly, Gromp just need to try to get up vision, make some picks with the Sejuani and Galio. And if they can't do that, then they pretty much just lose because they don't really scale that well. I mean, they have a Sivir, but Vortex just hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah, that's really been the problem. Just the build order being attack speed and attack speed. The Zeal item, Berserker Greaves into Zeal item. I definitely think a trip to op.gg might be in order to help out. You know, get the idea of where you want to be at.
Yeah, but we do see another Infernal Drake spawning up right now. Gray's Gambit just going hard in on Dynamic Killer.
Yep, here comes the Galio coming in. Cannot be disabled, walking ahead of it. Colonel Paco gets the kill onto it. Knife being pushed in, but here comes Pickle Popper pushing him back. getting dismounted off Scarl. Chimichangas is there. They might get the kill onto Gray's Gambit. There is a shutdown. Silas picking that one up. Has the Olaf ultimate currently stolen.
Looks like but they have to be real careful right now because Pickle Popper is 4-0, still full health. It does a lot of damage.
Exactly. Chimichanga is just feeling the pain of what you just said right there. So Horizon looking to walk around with this Olaf ultimate for a little while, seeing what they can't get accomplished. It's going to be a little difficult, though. Somebody's going to need to sit in the mid lane and get this. Vortex, unfortunately, building more Brawler's Gloves and Dagger. Just no damage coming out of this champion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she's going for survivability, building that Phantom Dancer first, but...
Vortex walks away from the turret, not really protecting it. Unfortunately, the positioning here is the difficult part, right? You really need to be preventing the damage coming from the tower. They didn't have to leave the tower range in order to get those minions, in order to get that money, and so on.
Dynamic in a bad spot.
It's not good. That's a lot of damage coming out from the Brambleback team. They are split. Knife is looking to get a jump in on somebody, but the red turret is taken. There is no Ezreal in this fight, but the damage is still there, and Rage Over gets the kill onto Chimichangas. The True Shot Barrage coming across. Horizon looking to stay in the back lane, but just not quite tanky enough to survive, but he gets the kill off. Dynamic Killer falling low. Knife is looking there. Scarl is back. Looking to get the kill onto Colonel Paco. They might turn this around if they do that. If he gets the bear trap on a rope, it's going to be very close. Looking to get over the wall. Oh, no. But it gets knocked off of Scarl in the middle of going over it. Going to get chased down by Gray's Gambit. The ace going in on this, and the flourish is going up everywhere.
And that's a quadra kill for Gray's Gambit. This Olaf sitting 8-1-4. So big right now, doing tons of work in this game.
And just it's going to be even worse. If you're on the Gromp team, you don't want to see an Olaf who cannot be CC'd or taken care of, just going insane.
Yeah, and honestly, Gromp put up a valiant effort there. They tried to take a team fight while the Ezreal was sitting in the mid lane. But Chimichangas at the start of that fight was at half health, so you can't have your tank line be super squishy while you're trying to engage on them. And I mean, Horizon put in a lot of work, got a lot of people super low, but nobody could actually finish up on those kills.
The other hard part is you're really looking at the double Infernal Drake now for Brambleback. They're getting 17% boost on everything they're buying. We have a 300, is that 380? No, we got 167 on Pickle Popper for the damage as far as AP. Colonel Paco just missed that Zenith Blade that would have potentially spelled a big disaster for Dynamic Killer.
Yeah, and I mean, Brambleback should be able to get this Scuttle Crab for free. If Gromp tries to fight, they're just gonna lose it again. Yeah, especially now that Silas isn't around.
Yeah, this is gonna be quite brutal if they go in for this one right now.
Yeah, they just need to back off, try to get all the farm that they can. Honestly, some Dynamic Killer should have swept right there. You would have gotten 2 wards away from the jungle, and at least you would feel safe if you did that.
Yeah, that is true. I think at this point in time, it might be mental fatigue. It might be, just feeling like things aren't going away, looking at the kills, right? Looking at the 16 kills versus your 7. That does take its toll. It looks like Brambleback is rotating up to take that top turret. Knife is just kind of going back and forth. Not really sure where to put his time. He could go top, but then he's going to have to play versus the 2v1 as Kled, which doesn't feel good. Especially with one of them being Leona. Poke going out for Arrow Fox right now, picking up a lot of the extra damage in there. This is going to start being difficult. So what do you need to see? What does Gromp need to do to rally right now?
Knife needs to not stay at this turret because he's just going to get 4-man dive now that Pickle Popper's roaming up as well. Dynamic Killer is also just going to walk straight into Gray's Gambit. The dive's going down in 2 separate places. Gray's Gambit was able to push off the Galio, but Knife is just stuck in a bad spot.
And is taking so much poke damage. Alright, and the turret and Knife is killed at precisely the same time. Which is unfortunate because that is the character you really need to look at for taking it down. Blue team summons the Rift Herald, this time in the top lane with no one there to be able to contest it. There is a fight between Horizon and Raged Over, and Raged Over falling away from the backside. But unfortunately, Chimichanga's falling very low. Colonel Paco going in to take the hits. Shelly is taking this tower down slowly. That was a big ultimate from Pickle Popper, doing a lot of damage to the Gromp team. Gray's Gambit looking for the kills, but the axe is dodged. That is an excellent looking flaming axe there. Shelly
Dynamic, just leave.
Second.
Just get out. No, alright.
Oh, gets sniped down from the Ezreal. Not respecting the range right now on that champion. And here goes down the inhibitor.
Want to hear the worst part about it?
Yeah, tell me.
The Sivir picked up a Kershi's shard and another dagger. Just going straight attack speed, getting no damage in whatsoever. It's just not smart gameplay.
It's just
you can't do this if you expect to win games.
I think the goal is you gotta. It's possible they just forgot. They forgot that AD is important. There are multipliers and there are things that need to happen in order for you to do damage. And attacking somebody quickly is great, but you can't get your attacks if they don't do any damage. If you attack a lot, it doesn't matter. But we got some action going on here. The Silas is going back in. The Unstoppable from Olaf has to be pulled because the Horizon caught Gray's Gambit trying to do something that he should not have done. In being a little too greedy trying to steal the blue buff away from Team Gromp.
And I think this is the second blue buff that Gromp has actually got in this game. Gray's Gambit has just been all over that buff. Just feels really bad for Gromp right now, and honestly, they need a huge Fnatic death brush if they want to come back in this game.
Really, it's almost like they should hope that they catch up a little. Oh, here comes Horizon looking to do.
What are you doing? Why are you up this far?
Trying to 1v1 and rage over right now, getting a lot of damage up, a lot of slapping going back and forth. Here comes Colonel Paco. The rest of the team showing up, getting stunned up right now, trying to do it. Gets the kill and enraged over right now, trying to do the one-man kill everyone squad. Just not enough damage there.
Yeah.
That was
and
a
that
valiant
Silas
effort.
W doing a lot of damage at the last second to enraged over. But your team's just back in base, so you're not going to get any support. You know you're going to die. I mean, he gets the kill, but at what cost?
Exactly. I guess the problem is right now, like, if he could have drawn them to the bot side of the map, maybe he was buying some time for the inhibitor to come back. They does allow them to pick up the Mountain Drake. I think they were going to pick that up anyway.
Yeah, and actually, Gromp do get a little bit of vision in their topside jungle and one ward on Baron. I mean, it's going to get cleared out pretty quickly, but at least they have it to know if Brambleback tries to start it. But in the meantime, Brambleback just pushes down the bot lane, gets a free inner turret. Just isn't going well for Gromp, and
yeah, it's just
there's not much they can do.
Unfortunately, here they again are finding themselves down by just under or exactly 9k. They're down by 9k gold right now at 24 minutes, and that just means so many items. They're down by 3k gold. That's a full item up on Ezreal. Ezreal building a pretty standard build, you know, tried and true build that's gonna get the damage done. Gray's Gambit going in. The Sivir is not going to be there to help them out, so they can't rely on that. The Kled is unable to really teamfight extraordinarily well, considering all of the mobility and roots and stuff like that. So it's going to be really hard for him to carry the game. Chimichanga is going to have to get a godlike stun up. We're going to have to get a godlike Galio ultimate into the taunt, the Idol of Durand, into just everything all at once. And Silas is going to have to make it happen. I think he's just resigned himself to like, all right, team, you guys do your best. We're going to try to take some towers. You know, I'm going to be down here. I'm split pushing. Somebody's got to come fight me. So right now, here comes the Baron. It doesn't look like anyone's going to be around to stop this. There is just no vision to stop them. They're not even close to seeing it. Blue team takes Baron Nashor. Apparently, Dynamic Killer might have almost been soloed by the super minions in the top lane.
Oh no.
Was very close. Had to run away and have the team support that. So they're fighting their own difficult battle on the top.
Galio's building Zonias. I don't think that's the build, dude. You're a support. You're not supposed to be doing damage. You're not supposed to be. This team is looking shaky for Gromp.
Yeah, I think they need to maybe after the game, maybe it's one of those things where they sit around, they talk about, all right, what went wrong? Let's start looking at op.gg. Let's start looking at some common builds. Let's see what's feeling bad. You know, what's feeling bad. What they can change. Horizon, those looking like a bright spot even right now. Although Silas is not able to carry a game, or at least very rarely is able to do that. Does pick up the True Shot Barrage, sending it across the team there. Galliowall coming in. This is their final bastion. Pickle Popper picks up a big ultimate. Dynamic killer. Horizon falling low. Gets the Zanyas out there. The roots coming in. The damage coming in. Vortex by themselves having to flash. Puts it all in there. The Zenith Blade catches it. Bringing it back in. The stun coming out. The damage coming out. The ace explodes under the might of the reckless swing from Gray's Gambit.
I really thought Vortex was going to be able to do something with that crit cloak, but apparently not. I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
You need to learn your champs, dude. And Bramble is going to be able to pick up a clean team fight and the victory after that. Coming out looking super strong in 27 minutes and 32 seconds.
You know, they really talked about it in the other games today. Team Bramble and Team Infernal both looking like studs in this league as they showed it with their 2-0 victory today. Congratulations to Team Brambleback for picking up the 2-0. My goodness. All right, so other than that, we're going to have to bring it on back, and let's see who we want to talk to finish out the night.
Sorry, I'm looking at damage graphs from the end of the game. So in last place on Brambleback was Leona with 5.4k. Second to last place was on Gromp was Gallia with 5.2k. And last place is a Sivir with 4,000 damage. And that just...
Well, Sejuani was less than the Sivir.
Wait, oh, was he? I didn't see that.
2,900.
Oh, wow. That's even... Holy crap.
So the Kled did a lot of work. Kled doing one of the most damage in the game as far as the damage graphs goes. That just tells the tale that we saw. So other than that, let's get some... Can you pull some people in? Let me know who we're doing for interviews. I will talk a little bit about the game.
Who'd you like to talk to? I'm thinking Pickle Popper, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I want to hear about the Pickle Popper Silas matchup in the mid lane. That was awesome.
Yeah, and then I think for game 2, probably have Gray's Gambit, because that Olaf definitely took off.
For sure. All right, let's see if we can't get him in here. All right, so I'm going to say, first off, number 1, thank you all for watching tonight on the Rekt League. We are going to be going into interviews in just a moment. But I want to say that we do these matches every Sunday, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, going till about what you see here, about 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We generally have three matches in a night, 3 series, and then we have one at Monday at usually at 8 p.m. on Monday night. So if you're able to see that, you can come watch those games each week, and you can check us out on the rektleague.com or just rektleague.com to see our stats, to see the matchups, to see some of the VODs from the matches. Let's see, do we got them all? We got them all in here. Let's hear it. Pickle Popper and Gray's Gambit. Thank you all for joining us. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory. How y'all feeling tonight?
Oh, I'm feeling great, my dude.
Absolutely. Well played. Well played. So let's start off with you, Grays. You sounded excellent. You sounded pumped up from that game with the 10, 1, and 10. Tell me about that. Tell me about that Olaf game.
Oh, man, you know, I just felt like if they're going to keep picking that much CC, I'm just going to play Olaf. It's just an easy pickup for me. I felt great. You know, I was shot calling that whole game. You know, my team played amazingly. Pickle had some great ultimates, and, you know, we just played very well, I believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys were able to go in and make sure that you could take what you needed to, give nothing back, and just steal everything for yourselves. I think you let them have 2 blue buffs that entire game.
Oh, nah, you can't have blue. I just said so. I'm like, nah, they can't have blue.
I only got 1 blue buff.
Not even my mid laner.
Absolutely. So it's taking the steal and going in. So the Olaf pick was in response to them picking that crowd control in that one.
Yeah, of course, because, you know, when I noticed they didn't ban out my Sedge, since it's been perma-banned most of the teams, I felt like they were going to pick it up, and I was like, oh, great, I'll just pick up Olaf and just abuse her in the jungle. Sedge is weak early game jungler.
Well, you definitely showed that off in game number 2 and game number 1, for example. But I really want to go over to ask Pickle Popper a question for you. You got to play versus Silas in that game. Tell me a little bit about some of those crazy fights in the middle with the stealing of the ball and all sorts of shenanigans going on. How did that feel?
It was the lane was pretty good until he decided to go all in, like because it's pretty chill. Just you have you have the range advantage, so I could just poke him out most of the time. Then every now and then he just like, go in on me, and there's some fun trades. But Salas is a strange champ, and I don't know. At the end, I didn't know if it was my Maokai ult or his Maokai ult, and it just gets confusing. I don't know what Riot's done here. But yeah, I think Ori ult's just not a very good ult for him to have to use because he doesn't have a way to reposition it. So that one time in mid where he flashed on me with it, that's really your only option unless you're already on top of them.
And you gotta say, perfectly well played on that one. Picking up, so they looked like in Champ Select, you were wavering back and forth between different champions. Were you feeling the Orianna the whole time, or were you just fooling us on the casting team?
I wasn't quite sure what I was gonna play, but I was hovering different champions. What was that? In the second game before I picked the Leona, just to see if they would ban one of them, and they did ban the Cat. I wasn't really feeling to have to do that much APM, so I was like, okay.
Gotta let yourself take a little rest when it's 8 p.m. on a Sunday night. Yeah. So other than that, let me ask you some questions. You guys clearly you won the 2-0, but what were some of the most difficult parts of those games that you remember? Were there any points that you were starting to sweat it a little bit based on what we were experiencing in Gromp in game 1 or 2?
Game 2, there was that fight for, I think, the Infernal Dragon, where they just, chased us all the way to Tribush, which, the rest of the team really followed up on that, but sadly, the Silas did get me.
I think I got an unofficial quad.
Yeah, that was good, but,
one of my questions then is, what was Enraged Over saying on the top side when he was getting a beatdown from Kled?
He was just playing normal. Honestly, he's no matter what, Maokai's gonna be relevant. So all he had to do was play safe, and we're gonna just use him as a frontline like we needed, and he played his job very well.
Enraged Over a top lane, feeling good at that one. That's excellent. Well done. What a real mensch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the first game Sion was beastly. He had some really good roams and some really good ults, like that one down mid lane when we were posturing around Baron, and then they went mid, and then he came in behind him and hit 3 of them with his ult.
And then you followed up with your ultimate on top of it, and you absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah.
That was insane.
That's really what it's all about, is finding those moments.
Yeah. And then you got Arrow. He didn't die the entire series.
Yeah. Arrow's playing amazingly. He really is. He's playing a lot safer and playing very collective.
Speaking of Arrow, welcome Arrow Fox to the casters. Congratulations on your perfect series. What do you want to say about that to the chat?
Pretty much just want to thank my frontline and everyone. They basically are the ones that make me look good, I guess, and keep me alive.
Absolutely. So for those team fights, Gray, you were saying you were doing the shot calling. Was anyone else giving assistance? How did you all figure out how to make those team fights look so clean?
Normally I'm just extremely vocal, so everyone just mainly followed my calls, and I was grateful for it because they did, and we were getting amazing fights. The second and that one fight in Dragon, we noticed the Silas was jumping on Orianna, so as you noticed, we all peeled back and got him off it, and then just ended up cleaning the fight afterwards because after we take down the Silas, they don't have any real damage on their team. So we were just playing every fight very collectively, and that was just the goal in that game.
And it absolutely showed. Arrow, is there anything else that you want to bring up for the laning phase with some difficulties? You clearly got out without a scratch, but what'd you feel about those 2 games?
Honestly, it was pretty much just as far as Ezreal, he's got to get that CS and build up his items. So basically, it was just farm as much as we can, and if they made a mistake bot, we capitalized on it. So it just made it easier for us to snowball after that.
So, next week number 3, you all have in front of you the Mountain Drake. What do you have to say to them, and what do you think is going to go down in that game?
Looks like Brambleback is going to conquer a mountain next week.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Brambleback climbing the great mountain of the Rekt League next week. Do you all have anything else you'd like to say to the Rekt fans out there?
Oh man, I just for all the fans, I really appreciate you guys watching and tuning into our games. I can't do this without freaking Arrow and Pickle and even my top lane support. We all played amazing with Pickle.
Even the top lane and support.
Yeah, dude.
Even
everyone
those
played
clowns.
Carries are.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are great.
All right, Darted, you got anything else to give for these gentlemen?
No, just congratulations on your win. You're tied for first place right now, and you guys are looking super clean. Glad to see it.
Thank you, thank you.
We'll have to go
Thank
fight
you.
Scuttle sometime, you know.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
All right,
thank
can't
you
wait.
all for tuning in tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard for the other game that was done off stream today. And then if you cannot make it tomorrow, please come in every Sunday starting at 4 p.m. to watch the Rekt League as we battle it out each week to see who gets to win the bragging rights, who gets to win the championship victory prize, and who's going to have the bragging rights for the next at least 6 months to a year to talk about it. Thank you once again for joining us, and have a great night.
All right, thanks for having us.
Pigs are big.
Oh man.